In this video, we are going to talk about how to be strong. How to be strong. This is one of the most asked questions by men. Men want to be strong, but strength isn't just physical. Strength can be mental, emotional, and yes, even spiritual. So today, we are going to talk about how to be strong mentally and emotionally. How to overcome your fears. A man who can control his fears is a powerful man. There is nothing more deadly than a man who can control his fears. Such a man becomes unstoppable. Think of any great man you know, any successful man. What do they have in common? They had fears but learned to overcome them. It might surprise you that even Bruce Lee was afraid of water. He couldn't swim. Yet he became one of the greatest martial artists of all time. That goes to show that the strongest of them all have fears. They might seem fearless, but it's only because they have learned to overcome their fears. That is what makes them strong. Now, I've been talking about this for a while now, but some people still don't understand. We can't become strong if we keep on running away from our problems. No matter what fear you are facing in life, it is going to go away only if you confront it. If you keep running away, your fear will grow. But if you confront it, your fear will shrink. You are not weak because you have fears. You are weak because you let your fears control you. I remember when I had to speak at TEDx, many of you guys wrote to me saying, "Bro, how did you get over your stage fright?" I had to work through my stage fright. I didn't run away from it. In fact, I had to embrace it. I told myself, yes, I am nervous. Yes, I am scared, but I choose to do it anyway. That's how you conquer your fears. By doing what you are afraid of. It's simple, yet so effective. Now, before I share 5 tips to overcome your fears, I want you to take a moment and think about your own fears. What exactly are you afraid of? Write it down. By putting pen to paper, you bring clarity to your thoughts. It helps you to see your problems in an objective way. Once you have figured out what you are afraid of, you are halfway there. You might think, why should I write it down? Why can't I just think about it? Because thinking is one thing, but writing is a whole another. When you write, you put your thoughts into words. And in doing so, you realize that what you think might not be true or rational. Writing also helps you to process your emotions. When you write, you are able to look at your thoughts from an outside perspective. You become more objective and less emotional about things. Now that you have written your fears, I want you to ask yourself, is this fear based on facts or is it irrational? Take, for example, the fear of public speaking. Is it rational or irrational? Well, the answer is both. Yes, it is rational to be nervous when you are about to speak in front of a large crowd, but it is also irrational to be so nervous that you can't function. If you find that your fears are irrational, then I want you to challenge them. Challenge those thoughts and ask yourself, are these thoughts really true? For example, let's say you are afraid of losing your job. Ask yourself, is it really true that I am going to lose my job? Now, if your getting fired isn't within your control, then why worry about it? Similarly, if something bad is going to happen, whether it is within your control or not, it doesn't matter. If it is within your control, fix it. If it isn't, then accept it and move on. Worrying won't solve anything. Remember, the object of life is not to push off death. The object of life is to live while you are alive, and to push off death is to be fearful of life. Fear is what keeps most people weak. It is the ultimate destroyer of confidence. When you are afraid, you lose confidence. When you lack confidence, you cannot perform to your potential. Here are 5 ways to overcome your fears. No. 1. Learn to say no. Many people can't say no, and that is why they fail. That is why they cannot reach their goals. That is why they cannot be successful. They agree to everything. They are people pleasers. But in doing so, they lose themselves. They lose their identity. They don't know who they are. To say no is an art. Learn this art and practice it daily. The easiest way to start is by saying no to small things. Say no to small requests and gradually work your way up to bigger ones. Remember, saying no doesn't make you a bad person. In fact, it makes you a better person because you are setting boundaries. You are respecting yourself. By saying no, you free up your time and energy to focus on the things that are important to you. No. 2. Take calculated risks. There is no growth without risk. If you want to grow, you must be willing to take risks. But that doesn't mean that you should go and take stupid risks. You need to calculate the risks and make sure that the rewards outweigh the risks. Before you take any risk, ask yourself 3 questions. What am I risking? What could I lose? And what could I gain? If the answer to the 3rd question is more than the first 2, then you should take the risk. Risk-taking is a skill. Just like any other skill, you can improve it. Start by taking small risks and gradually work your way up to bigger ones. For example, if you are afraid of public speaking, start by talking in front of a small group of friends. Then gradually increase the size of the group until you are comfortable speaking in front of anyone. 3. Face your fears head on. One of the best ways to overcome your fears is to face them head on. Avoid them and your fears will only grow. But face them and your fears will shrink. Let's say you are afraid of dogs. Don't avoid dogs. Instead, learn to love them. Spend time with them and your fear of dogs will eventually disappear. When you face your fears, you realize that they are not as big as you thought. In fact, they are quite small. And when you realize this, you become more confident. Remember, confidence is not the absence of fear. Confidence is having fear and acting despite the fear. 4. Learn to forgive. Holding on to grudges and anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. You are the one who suffers. You are the one who becomes weak. Learn to forgive and forget. It doesn't mean that you condone what they did. It doesn't mean that you forget what they did. It simply means that you refuse to let their actions control you. Forgiveness is a choice. It is a conscious decision to let go of the negative feelings. It is not easy, but it is necessary if you want to be strong. Learn to forgive, and you will see how much stronger you become. And finally, 5, don't compare yourself to others. Comparing yourself to others is a recipe for unhappiness. You always feel like you are behind, and that's why you never feel satisfied. Everyone has their own journey. Everyone has their own path. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. Your journey is yours alone. No one else can walk it for you. There you have it. 5 tips to overcome your fears and become stronger. Remember, being strong doesn't mean that you don't have fears. It means that you have fears, but you don't let your fears control you. Now I want to ask you, what is your biggest fear? Share it in the comments below. Also, if you found this video valuable, consider subscribing to the channel. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you for watching.